how are you? Everything okay with you?
Yeah, man, great. It's great. Yeah, all good. Just in the middle of the tour, everything's going fine. You know, all great.
Yeah, great to be talking to you. Your
Thanks.
fifth album, Sweet Poison, has just been released. How have the reactions been so far?
Just great because we were pretty excited this time because the record came out on the day of the first show. So we couldn't, get any like pre-reaction. Usually, you release a record like 3-4 months before you go on tour. And this wasn't possible this time because due to all these COVID, risks and all, we didn't want to risk putting out an album and then not being able to tour it. So we didn't get any pre-reactions, and then we just went out there and played a whole bunch of new songs of the record, and but people like it, and they're all like, feedbacking that they love the fact that we play so much of the new record. That I guess it must have been 8 or 9 songs of the new album.
Yeah, it's a really great album, and
Thank you.
I think it really works out live. The
Yeah, oh yeah,
the
yeah. It
yeah
feels good to play it, because you know compared to all the other records, we more and more boil it down
mhm,
to pretty much exactly what we do on stage. So most of the songs in the studio already just have like two guitars, one bass, and two vocals,
yeah
and a drum kit. So it's very easy to put those songs on stage because usually you have to rearrange everything because you have more
mhm.
instruments, more tracks, more voices, and a shaker and all these bling blings that you put on the album, and then you have to recreate it for the stage. And this time was really easy because all the songs were pretty much recorded exactly the way that we would play it live. So it was pretty easy and felt good right away.
Yeah, and I think that this collection of songs really scream the stage. They are meant to be played live,
Yes, that
not to
was
be
the
sitting at
main
home
idea. You got it. You got it.
But personally, how do you feel about this album?
I feel really good. It's a big relief, where you didn't when the pandemic hit, we didn't know if we would ever make a record again.
Yeah,
You were like there were times that you were actually thought like this is the end of the band. This is the end of rock and roll. So and then we just made that record and we wrote all these songs because we didn't want to believe that. And when finally things got into motion, and you go to the studio and you start recording and you realize it's happening again, you're actually going to release the record, and it's a big relief. And then we got on tour with Kiss and played one song of the new record on the whole Kiss tour. And that felt great because you made a statement, like, and the song was that we played is called The Usual Suspects. It's the first single of the album. And it's like it's a statement. It's like, hey, we're still here. We're still kicking ass, and
we're
we're
still
back in
alive.
town to make you have a good time. So that was a real cool feeling, and I feel very, very happy, and I'm proud of the record.
Yeah, and you should be. One
Thanks.
thing that you said was that the pandemic, you didn't want to release the album during the pandemic, right?
You couldn't, because we're a live band.
Yeah, yeah.
we want to
So
play the.
the songs were ready a long time ago now, right?
No, we wrote all of them in the pandemic.
During the
So
pandemic? Ah, okay.
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought that you
no,
were had them ready and then the pandemic came, so you just delayed the release.
no, 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 no. We wanted to um make release a record in 2021, so last year. So then the pandemic hit early 2020, and then we didn't know what to do. And all the ideas that I collected through the Nothing But Wild tour, they didn't seem fitting for the situation we were in. So if you listen to the record, you will hear that it's way more aggressive. It's reckless. It's
Yeah,
it's
it
it's
is.
so it's way more like it shouts, "I don't give a fuck." And that was the purpose. That was the vibe that we wanted to get in. So we when Nothing But Wild was going on, and we were right, I would write way more poppy songs and good time and big choruses, and very, very, like, detailed and well arranged songs. And then COVID came, and we were like, no, this is not how we feel. You know, we don't feel like arranging super small details here and there. We just want to grab the guitar, turn it up, and just shout out all the frustration. And that's how like Playing with Fire came to life, and Warpaint and The Lion in You. These are Dead of Night. All these songs are tunes that shout, we wanna, we don't want to give up. We still here, and we don't give a shit. We'll make it through this. So that was the vibe that we all like, that triggered us. And that's why we collected all these songs and started from zero and worked out a brand new album.
Yeah, and I think that's the main difference, musically between Nothing But Wild
Yes.
and Sweet Poison.
Yes.
So you wanted to do that.
Yes.
It wasn't just something that happened.
At first, you don't know what's happening,
Mhm.
But then you realize after you have 4, 5, 6 songs together, and you realize these songs, they all have one thing in common. They
They're much
all
more aggressive.
don't give a shit. So songs like Playing with Fire, when it starts off and you sing like Your Good Advice Comes Much Too Late, I Never Thought I'd Turn 28. All these lines in the song, they're so honest and so brutal. And it's a difference to Nothing But Wild. When we wrote Nothing But Wild, we wanted to find out how much can we push rock and roll music, authentic rock and roll music, how much can we push it in a certain direction to be radio
Friendly.
Radio friendly, but still be authentic. That's what we tried with Nothing But Wild. So we wrote songs like Down by the River, and Running Out of Hearts, The Bullet. All these songs are on the last record, and we tried to trigger a certain vibe, and this time we just followed our heart again and say like, hey, we want to feel like teenage puberty premature idiots again, and just go out and kick some ass. And that's what then we followed down that road.
Yeah, and composition wise, did it change anything? Like you still wrote the same way, just the songs came different.
Yeah, I would say like that the other members of the band had way more influence this time than usually. So this time we would all like get together very early in the process. I always have the initial ideas, and I come up with first demos where I like have a fraction of a verse and a chorus, just the acoustic guitar maybe, or just a small band arrangement that I record at my studio, and then I show it. And usually they say, yeah, it's good, or not, keep on working, or just forget about it. And this time, after they heard it, they would, everybody would get together and say like, hey, what if we would go down this road or that road? So no, the other guys in the band, they don't write music, but they are very well trained, experienced in knowing what is good for the band and what feels right. So I would like try out different things, and they would say, this is hotter, colder, good, bad, and we would like very would make very small steps together and decide like in what direction we want to push a song. So a lot of the songs on the record started off very differently. Like My Kinda Crazy had a whole different chorus, was a total different song. And Playing with Fire was called The Poison Is the Dose at first. And then we changed that to Playing with Fire. And True Love, for example, was meant to be 2 songs, 2 ballads. And we like both of them. We like the chorus of the one and the verse of the other. And then we put both of them together. So all these things we came up with together, and I'm very happy that we did, because it's a special vibe on the stage now, because everybody feels really involved in the material.
Yeah, and it's funny because most bands during the pandemic they separated, they each one member just wrote everything. In your case, it was completely different.
Yeah, we're as close as we've never been before. So during the pandemic, we realized like how much we want and need each other as a team. and that's a good vibe. So the band vibe on this tour is better than ever, because we realized, like, after we released Dead Man's Voice in, I don't know, 2015 maybe. We've been on tour constantly, never stopped. So after all these shows, hundreds of shows in countries and miles, thousands and thousands of miles, you end up, like, being a little tired of each other sometimes, and you just, not enjoying each other's company as much as you used to do. And after COVID, of course, it's the same
Start
old story.
missing them.
You start missing, those stupid jokes that drove you crazy just a year ago, but now you said, hey man, I would love to hear that stupid joke again. So now we're back on tour and everybody's feeling fine about it. And we're just having fun being on stage as a band together.
Yeah, and I bet the shows must be better now too because of that.
Yeah, we enjoyed way more, and people are happy. And you can't really tell, like that there's more applause or more of everything. But I after the show we sit there and everybody's happy. The fans are happy. We're sit there relaxed. We have a beer together, and you kind of get the feeling that everybody's where they want to be.
Yeah, that's the right feeling to have, I think.
Yeah.
And one thing I always liked about New Roses was that you keep that 80s hard rock traditional vibe, but then with a modern sound. And I think that in this album you intensify that a little bit much. Do you see it the same way?
You think we did it too much?
No, not too much. Just more than what you did in your previous
Okay.
albums.
Yes, I would say so. And I guess that's because especially Urban and Hardy, they love that style. They grew up on that. They're a little older than me, so they were very much influenced by the late 80s, early 90s rock music, like Def Leppard and Motley Crue and bands like that, Guns N' Roses and all these things that I missed because I was just a little too young for that. So and because of their more of their influence on this record, we got more of that vibe there. And I was always a little afraid that we someday we will take that too far and sound just like an 80s band, but
no, but don't worry, you're still you haven't turned into an 80s band yet.
I realized that now. So like I will never sing like a classic 80s band, and my guitar sound is super like vintage. I don't have this high gain and super reverb sound. I have a very dry sound, and Dizzy has a very modern guitar sound, and Urban plays a special way of drums and all these things. So everyone in the band has a unique sound, or at least it's a unique combination of sounds, and that would never drift into like a well-known era or area there, where you could say like, oh, this is classic 80. This sounds just like Def Leppard or whatever. So yeah, we just celebrate
and also
that,
because the sound is generally more modern, more
without being
updated.
too modern at the moment. Like I find that a lot of bands sound the same now, because it's very easy to have great drum sounds out of the box, out of the laptop, and and you have super high definition guitar sound that come from the laptops or from the Kempers and the profiling amps. And so I have the feeling that a lot of bands end up using the same stuff for their records, that one super high definition guitar sound and that one super high definition drum sound. And we don't do that. We play with our regular sounds with our amps, and so we don't try to catch up with the modern state of the art sound. So we came up with our own sound over the years, and we recorded the new record at the same studio that we recorded all the other records. So we have that sound, and that's, I think
that's
that
your sound.
kind of fits to the band now. Yeah, it's our sound. Yeah.
And one thing that I think really contributes to your sound too is your vocals. I think they're really charismatic too.
Thanks.
To this album, did you try any new technique? Just being more aggressive?
I wouldn't say so. I just didn't hold me back,
Yeah.
you know. At the first at the last records, I always tried to really sing beautiful, you
And
know.
yeah, more melodic, and this time just
Yeah, and
didn't
I
care.
focused on melodies and the right, hitting every note and breathing
Hmm.
right. And I would do a lot of takes for every song, and I said it's just perfect. I don't know, maybe try it again. And this record is like 80% of the vocals are demo vocals. It's
Really,
just it's just
you sound
like
that good in demos.
I just I do on the demos when I have an idea. I turn on the mic and I have the playback, and it's like, okay, I have a line and I have the lyrics in my notebook, and I hold the paper in front of my, in front of my head, and then I just started singing, and I do like 3 takes for every verse, something, 3 takes,
Yeah.
and until I realize, okay, now you're losing energy, or now you got it. So, and when I think like, okay, you got it, I move on. So I have 3 takes, and then I puzzle together the best of all these takes, and that's it. And then I send it to the guys, and they were like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what else, man. So a lot of stuff on the record is from the demos, guitars, solos, like all we just took them to the studios from my to our recording studio from my private studio, and we just took them there and just put them in the songs. So that's the main difference between the other records, that I would not focus on brilliant performance, technical performance.
Mhm.
So I would focus on overall energy, and you hear the wrong notes on the record. There's a lot of breathing or shorter ends of phrases because I need to breathe, and you actually
Mhm.
don't do that when you record step by step. But this time we said, fuck it, it's better for the overall energy, vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe probably it isn't as hard for you to do to do it live,
Exactly. So there wasn't we maybe did 4 rehearsals before the tour.
Yeah.
It's because everybody knew what they were gonna do, because it was already done. We didn't have to change anything, so we just played that shit for 3-4 times, and then put it out on the road.
Yeah, and one thing that I always wondered about New Roses was how you can keep that high adrenaline level throughout the whole show. How do you do that?
We love it, man. We love it, and we know, but we still remember so well being on the other side of the stage,
Yeah.
and what I wanted to hear, what I want to see when I'm in the audience.
Hmm.
So it's my taste. Maybe other people see that differently, but I would love to see a positive band. You know, I
Yeah.
would love to see a band that is not on drugs, so that is aware of the trust and time and effort the audience, you know, gives
Yeah.
towards the band, because they spend their money, and their time, and maybe they have a babysitter at home. Maybe they drove 3-4 hours, standing in line, and they came to our show. Maybe they are our songs accompany them for a long time. Maybe they help them through a,
Some hard
a
times. Yeah.
through hard times, and then they preload their expectations, because they love our music so much, and then they finally get to see us live, and they waited for 2-3 years to see us, so they
Mhm.
go there with great expectations. It's going to be a fantastic night. I'm going to hear my favorite songs. I'm going to see my favorite band. And then you show up and you're just shit-faced, and you're drunk, and you don't give a fuck, because you think you're the center of the universe, and everything uh you know turns in
Around you.
around you. So we're not that band, and I never wanted to see that from a band. I wanted to see a band that talks to the audience, that gives them the feeling of being special. Not that you're just a next station on their big tour. That every night is special. And
Because
if
everyone
you
made sacrifices to be there and see you.
exactly, and if you're aware of that magic, of that vibe, of that that is special. For us, we play 30-40 shows in a row, but every time we meet people, maybe some people see 3-4, or some of them like travel with us and see all of them, but most of the people, they come to see us once, maybe twice in a year. And for them it's special, so you have to be aware of that. And then you go out and you want to give them what they want. And that feeling of making people really happy, like not like shallow happy, like really happy, is a great energizer. It really gives you something that carries you through the whole set. And I learned it's when I'm not at in the band, I'm pretty much an athlete. I do a lot of sports, and I do this endurance sports. And I run for very long time through the mountains and all these things. So for 17-18 hours I do running in the mountains. And I learned a rule that another athlete showed to me, and it's called the 85% rule. And that means you should never give 100%. You should always stop at 85%. And what happens then is you feel relaxed, and you actually you have more energy than you would have to give if you think you're given 100%. Because those last 15% that you think you add, that is just
you're not having them.
you're not having them. You just cramp. You just you struggle. You just want it too much, and then you get in your own way. And especially for a vocalist, when you want to give 100% and you think now's the time I give 100%, you just fucking up your voice, because you press too much and everything's so much pressure, because you're thinking 100%, you think there's nothing more you can give. And if you like go a little below that and you think 85% is fine, you end up singing higher, better, longer, and this is what I learned from endurance sports. I ran so much faster and so much longer when I stopped giving 100%, so it's one thing I've learned, and it's a very, very cool like process that helped me. It helps me now to get through all these tours and all these shows without fucking up my voice. It's very
especially for
exciting
you that you have to
does.
play and you have to play the guitar and to sing, so it's
Yes.
always harder.
Yeah, and it's relax, man. That's the main key. Relax and let the power, the energy, just run through you. Don't get in the way. If you push, if you want it too hard, if you put so much pressure on it, you just get in the way of the energy. The energy is created in your soul. Let's call it soul, okay? In your heart, or whatever, in that spirit inside you, whatever you want to call it. So this is where you create the energy, and then you just let it out. And if you press and push and you involve your ego and say, I'm going to show you how good I am and stuff like that, you just get in the way, and then you smaller that energy. So if you relax and just let it pass through you, it sounds very like spiritual, but I'm not. It's just like, it's hard to describe, because everything happens on the inside. So you just let go, you just relax, and you realize you have way more power and control than you would have ever thought.
So that's the way to go through 40 shows every night, giving not
that's the way I do
100%.
it. Other people do it with drugs. And I guess pretty much I actually think that if you take drugs, it just helps you do what I just described. it helps you to disconnect from your ego and disconnect from all your thoughts and all this pressure. So if you get there without drugs, you're a happy man. I tried both
And the
ways.
healthy man too.
Yeah, I tried both ways, and I get very better. I get much better along without the drugs.
Well, now moving on. Lyrically, what does Sweet Poison talk about?
Like I said, during the pandemic, we couldn't tour, and usually I write all the
Yeah.
songs on the tour, and I have this little notebook with me that put some fractions in, and I have my phone, and I sing a little melody, and and I record that, and when I get home I take everything out and turn all these fragments into songs. But this time there was no tour, there was no inspiration and all these things. So and we knew the present is shit, and we tried talking about it, and we tried writing songs about the present, but that just sucked. Nobody wanted to hear that shit, so the future was uncertain, and you don't want to write songs about the future is uncertain. That doesn't sound like
Yeah.
rock and roll.
Could be
So
too depressive.
yeah, exactly. And so, we look back. We looked on the days that when the band was created. I wrote a lot of songs about my wild 20s. Playing with Fire, for example, is a song about my 20s and the feeling I had to be invincible, indestructible. And then now that you're a little older, you realize, whoa, that was close. Could have been dead right now, man. So I wrote songs about that. I wrote a song about that wonderful older, mature lady that she gave me some lessons in life experience, so to say. That song's called "Sweet Gloria." Of course, her real name is not Gloria, but I thought it's funny maybe to write a song about her because the whole record has that premature puberty vibe.
Yeah.
It's like we're 17 again. And so I thought, like, maybe why not really go down that road, all the way, and write songs that a 17-year-old boy
Yeah.
would write, and Sweet Gloria is one of those songs, and War Paint, and those happy, just, nonsense songs. You don't deal with the big questions of life, like who am I, and am I wise enough, and where will I be in 20 years and stuff. So I have these thoughts, I have these feelings, but I thought it's time to make a light-footed record for all the band members, for all the people out there that want to get away from the seriousness of life for a while, to have a little
Have
uh,
fun.
yeah, just have fun, charge the batteries and all that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we decided to do on the record, on the whole record. And then we came up with all these songs, and I'm pretty happy. Everything is light-footed. That was the main goal, just have fun, should be a little nasty, be a little naughty, and have this recklessness and premature
Yeah.
vocabulary, and yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, you went back in time to your 70s
Exactly.
and 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, throughout your career, you've shared the stage with huge bands like Scorpions or Saxon or Accept or Kiss, like in your last tour. If you could choose one band to tour next, which band would that be?
Man, I love that question because it's unanswerable, But
There are
um,
too many, right?
yeah, we love the Rolling Stones, man, no doubt about that. So if they would call, we would definitely do that. And we love AC/DC, of course, and um,
Yeah, who
you
doesn't?
know, yeah. I just saw the Black Crowes live in Germany, and I would love to be on tour with them because they're one of my favorite bands. And the band, the Georgia Satellites, or Dan Baird. It's
No,
they had their
I
they
don't
had
think
their
so.
climax. Yeah, you listen to them. If you like the New Roses, they're a big inspiration on us. It's very
Okay,
straight rock and roll.
I'm gonna give a listen to them.
Yeah, the Georgia Satellites, and the front man and the guitarist was called Dan Baird. It's called spelled with the Baird. Dan Baird. And he has great records, and he's very under the radar now. And but I guess we're playing bigger venues than him
Mhm.
now. but I would love to open up for him because he's such a big hero, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wouldn't say no.
Yeah, I think every band has that little unknown band that they idolize, basically.
Yeah, but they had their
Yeah, there are the moments. Yeah,
they had their moment, yeah, but it didn't last. So, but it's great music. You should listen to it.
I will.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I enjoyed in this album was not only the album, of course, but the artwork. No, it's very simple, yet it's a great artwork. Who was responsible for it?
The same guy that made the artwork for the last three records. So all uh only except the first record, then the Dead Man's Voice, the One More for the Road, Nothing But Wild, and the Sweet Poison record, all by the same guy. And we never do anything else than sending him the songs.
Just that? You don't give
Sending the
him any
songs,
guidelines?
and that's it. Just the songs. And he listens to the album and then he sends back the cover. And
Yeah,
most
that's
of the
incredible.
times, he just does a little edit,
Mhm.
but not like a total new idea. So it's very, yeah, exciting. And at first we weren't sure what fits to us, and he kind of really like um created that style for us.
Mhm.
He came up with the logo as well.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
turned your songs into art,
yeah, exactly.
art, like into
Yeah,
paintings.
it's very well, yeah, very well said. It's exactly what happened.
Now, as you already said, like thousands of times, the New Roses are a
No
touring
problem.
band.
Yeah,
Um, which are your touring plans for now, for this album?
the plans.
Yeah, you are on
Just
tour right now, so
yeah. So we would just want to keep on keeping on. I just don't want to just stop. We're gonna do the Germany and Switzerland and these like German countries, and then we go to the UK and then December, and then we do a little Christmas break, and then we go back to France. And from there we just want to keep on going. We're gonna do a lot of festivals next year, and we have some ideas to team up with other bands and do like a bigger tour. And so we definitely want to expand, and
mhm.
play more countries. And we're working on that.
Now, Timmy, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.